All right, let's get started, Manav. So, Manav, talk to me about your track then that you've submitted for us today.
Yeah, so basically in India, it's you'll rarely see tracks like the background that you have right now. It's a huge track. Definitely, they are there in I would say maybe 4 or 5 places in the country. There are big tracks, but the ones that I go to, which is in my city, they are pretty small tracks, as you might have already seen in the footage.
Yeah,
They are pretty narrow. There are no these buffer areas like the green parts that you see on the track behind you. It's
yeah,
all covered with the tires. That I think that you will see those in your indoor tracks mostly, where the boundary wall is the tires.
yeah,
So those are kind of tracks, and they are majorly made for rental karting, just for casual, fun.
yeah,
But there are quite a few professional riders who ride those tracks, and when I say professional, they are the champions in the national level races, and some
yeah.
of them have also been to Dubai and competed and gotten second or third place there.
I think that's the Red Rabbit drivers, right? They're on a team called Red Rabbit Races, is it?
Maybe, I mean, I'm not very familiar with the
Yeah,
karting world.
I've met some drivers who practice. Which city in India is this track?
This is in Pune, which is close to Mumbai, if you know
Yeah,
Mumbai.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's one guy, Deep. Actually, he's the manager of Red Rabbit Races, and
Hmm.
every year they send out teams from India from the different tracks to represent in the championship there. So we're very familiar with the level of drivers, and also the track that you've shared is an outdoor track.
Yeah.
And how many years have you sort of, or how long have you driven at this track for?
So this track is pretty recent. They have launched it, I think, 2 months ago.
Okay,
So, and I got to know about it just 2 weeks ago. So
2 weeks ago.
I,
All right,
yeah, this is the footage I have sent. This is my third session
gotcha,
on that track.
gotcha. You're able to see the screen now, right? And I'm just sharing your video.
Yes,
You're able to see it. Amazing.
yes.
So when was this session?
This was last Sunday.
Last Sunday. Okay. So it's a
Yeah.
busy time, I guess, on the track. Lots of drivers. Is it a normal arrive and drive session?
Yeah, so it's you on Saturdays, Sundays, you might have to wait 30 minutes or so. Each session is 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This recording is of a full session itself. So this is a 10-minute session, and at once they don't let more than 7 to 8 drivers on the track.
So I'm just reviewing a lap over here. Let's let it go through. What I can see, it's quite a short lap. So
Around 500 meters, I think that's what they told me.
exactly, exactly. And I'm just trying to link this up to the track map that you shared with me. Um, I take it that the sessions are run what 10 minutes at a time, because this is a 10-minute clip that you've shared with me.
Yes.
Excellent. Um, so talk me through this session specifically. Did you get a clean lap to obviously do your best timing, or was it just overtakes sort of every lap?
So yeah, so most of that was like that. I did not get clean laps, and we were doing mostly for fun.
Yeah,
Two of the people on the track are my friends. That guy in the white t-shirt that's riding there.
in front. Yep.
Ahead. Yeah, and then the guy that I just overtook, that's my friend as well.
Yeah.
Um, and other four people on that track are pro racers, so they are all
Amazing.
better than us.
Uh,
So I was the fifth, right after those four.
yeah, 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 yeah. Gotcha, gotcha. Well, the good thing is whenever you see, let's say, better drivers there or more experienced guys, just try to follow them, and
Uh-huh.
best you can, of course. Is easier said than done, because when you try to
Yep.
follow them, within a few corners they pull out in front, and it's like, oh, they're gone
Yeah.
now. But what you'll notice, that the top sort of drivers do, as you're with your friend over here, this track, although it's quite a tight track, you should be
Yep.
using the full width. So that's the first thing to notice. I'm gonna try and get to a clean lap over here. Maybe, I believe it was about halfway through, and I
Yeah.
believe, about halfway through is where you got your best timing as well. Is that correct in this session?
So that is the problem here, that we don't exactly know which lap we got our
Yeah.
best time on, because there is nothing to see. So we can only guess based on the footage.
Yeah, because I was reviewing this and it was about, 6:10 mark, so we've reached it now. This is the end of the lap. Is that right? We're coming up to the.
Uh, Not yet. Yeah,
I think.
now it will be the end.
Perfect.
As I take the left,
Boom.
yeah, after this there will be a checkered line on the floor. That's the
Just over here. Perfect.
yes.
Cool. Let's take it sector by sector, and turns 1, 2, and 3, you can say,
Yep.
are sort of uphill ever so slightly, and you're able to see my yellow marker, right?
I can only see the white.
Yeah, okay, you can't see the cursor. How
I can see the cursor, but it's white. It's not yellow.
is white, right? No, I need to just adjust that real quick. Let
Mhm.
me stop sharing. Let
Mhm.
me share the entire screen. There we go. I think now you can see it. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. I'm gonna get this up for the live stream as well. They can
Mhm.
hopefully see the tab window. Okay. No. Just give me one moment. Yep.
Sure.
Perfect. Okay, there we go. Right, slight adjustment. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So, whenever we're at an outdoor track, we have the benefit of identifying curbs. So,
Mhm.
curbs, they're not always painted like a blue and white or red and white color, but in this case, you can always look at the inside of a corner. So let's take turn 1, and you can see there's a gray or sort of white patch, right? So this inside
Yes.
part, just until the black tires, is the curb. Now, if with curbs you want to use as much as possible, in
Mhm.
this case it seems like it's a flat surface. Does does the elevation change between this and then the darker patch, or is it all one level?
Yeah, that's why you might think that I'm not taking the apex, but
Yeah,
it's actually it's elevated.
yeah.
There was some sort of hole probably, and they have filled it out with cement, so it is elevated.
Okay, gotcha. And does it get higher towards the black tire, like over here?
Yes. Yeah.
Noted. Well, through the more laps you do, the more you feel out the limits of the track. So just try and go, right up to where you're comfortable. You don't want to go
Hmm.
too far up, as you said, where there's it unsettles the cart. But always use that as a reference for an apex. And I like that you're already thinking about that. So turn 1, one one thing you could try in this case, because it goes from a right and then to a left-hand turn, is actually your entry. So as you come to
Hmm.
the start line now,
Hmm.
use all of the track on the right hand side. So there's half a meter to the right. Get your
Yeah.
kart to be as close to the black tires as possible. And what you want
Mhm.
to do is take a slightly later turn in. So you skip the early part of this curb and you want to hit
Mhm.
this part just at the exit ever so slightly. What will happen is when you
Mhm.
hit the exit part over here, then to the next corner, you can drive it in as straight line as possible, right?
Yep.
What you want to do is minimize the amount of steering you put, and you want to take the shortest route possible between corners. So in this
Mhm.
case, turn 1 and 2 are very closely connected. And if we look at this current lap, I mean, obviously you've done many different laps in this session, but this current lap, what happens is we enter it quite narrow from the middle, and then look
Mhm.
at your steering wheel over here. You're putting in steering angle to the left,
Yep.
then you're putting steering angle to the right to go through turn 2. So it's almost
Mhm.
it's a zigzag. It's a left then right, and that's normal. That's how the flow of the track goes. But we want to put as less steering angle to the left and right. How do we do that? Enter it all the way from the outside edge for turn 1. Talk to me
Mhm.
about braking for this corner. Is it a lift or is it a slight tap with the brake?
Yeah, it's mostly you have to brake because the track is
Yeah.
first. You might not see it in the video, but it's going towards the right a little bit at this point.
Yeah.
Um, and
We'll just rewind. Boom, over
yeah, so
here, right?
it dips
It goes a bit to the right.
and yeah, so you have to, at least I have to be on the brakes.
And approximately, where are you braking? What sort of reference are you using, perhaps?
So mostly, honestly, I'm just feeling it out, like
Yeah,
how much I need to brake for the corner. I'm not really using a reference. Maybe I should.
yeah.
Uh,
On feeling. Um, uh, Approximately, is it? So let's just go back to the start line. Is it just after the start line? So this is the start line over here. Is it just after, or is it maybe a few meters after? You can
yeah,
you can tell me when to stop. Actually, I'll just go frame by frame.
I think from here I start braking. Yeah.
Okay, just after the start line, basically. That's good. Uh, that shows to me you're going for early braking. Now, with early
Yeah.
braking, the advantage is you're able to get on the accelerator quickly. One thing
Yeah.
that you can find difficult with early braking is when you get onto the accelerator too soon. By the time you get to the corner, you might be carrying a bit too much speed. So just be vigilant on, you know, how much uh, speed you build up after braking. You don't want to be too quick, and then when you get to this corner, you scrub the
Mhm.
tires a little. But
Mm.
continue with that sort of braking point just after the line. What I recommend is if you're able to go wider, as we mentioned with your entry over here, you could get a bit later with your brakes as well. Remember, the angle of the corner becomes wider for you. So what we
Yeah.
discussed, wider entry, late apex, and then make it as
Mm.
straight line as possible to turn 2. Let's
Mm.
go ahead, cover the next couple of corners. We get a bit of a straight line until a typical hairpin turn.
Yes.
And I just want to see what this leads on to. That leads on to another straight, which is perfectly fine. So really, the main corner here is the hairpin. I understand you'll have to put some brake for this. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And whereabouts is it? Like, we have a light on the right hand side. Is it just after this light post, you
A
think?
little, yeah, a little bit around there.
Boom.
Yeah. From here you will see me here.
I've just looked, and it's at this point I see your foot, left foot going down,
Yep.
and then I think in this lap you were sort of trail braking, so you're braking into the corner, boom, and it's at the apex. Now you've released your foot, which
Yeah.
is an interesting technique. Once again, on this specific lap,
Mm-hmm.
obviously we're taking this in isolation. Let's try and use all of the track available. So even this tiny bit extra on the right side, try to be right up to the
Mm-hmm.
black barrier. Now, for a hairpin which leads onto a straight like this corner is, it's preferred that we do a late apex, because this allows you to get onto the accelerator quicker, so you get better exit speed. So let's review this part one more time. You enter it slightly away from the black tires. You start turning in early now. So if you notice, we're turning in early, and what happens is, boom, we take a early to mid apex, yeah, which is about here, which is fine. You know, you'll get through the corner. Maybe, you know, you'll pass somebody who's less experienced. But what I believe the top guys at this track would be doing is entering it wider, closer to the black tires, and then they would delay the turn in. So what they would do is they would continue in a straight line, right? And you see where these lights are on the outside. They'd almost go in a straight line towards that for half a meter, half a second deeper into the corner. So it's a late and then sharp turning. So what happens is, late sharp turning, you skip this early part of the corner, you skip the middle part of the corner, and then you'll cut to the inside right over here where these black tires are on exit. Yeah. And what will happen is it'll boost you to have a better exit on the straights. What I've seen from the karts that you're driving as well, the gas karts, so keeping the revs high is so important. And on a hairpin turn like this, try to brake as I think you can brake quite late in this corner, but your reference in future should be, let me look at these lights if it's nighttime on the outside, or if it's the daytime, look at the red sign. So continue in a straight line, make sure you're wider on entry, and then at the last moment, then you do a sharp late turn in. So you brake, continue a straight line, sharp late turn in, miss the early apex, miss the middle apex, hit a late apex. Let's just continue through. So we've got a short straight. Now more technical part of the track is coming up. Fast right into another hairpin. Excellent. So the fast right, I can see again a bit of a lift off the gas, if not a bit of a brake on that occasion. What you want to do over here is make the entry as wide as possible. So the wider we take a corner, the more speed we can carry through, and the less you have to turn. So again, we got some lights on the left hand side, or the black tires on the left hand side. Try to be right up against it. You see we leave a bit of a gap. Try to be wider. What will happen is, the wider you go, then you can cut into the inside, and it's important we close the meters over here. So from the outside, cut back to the inside. We shouldn't be leaving a gap over there. If you're chasing those extra tenths of a second, you got to get closer to the right hand side. What happens is you can hug the inside part momentarily, and you see how the corner opens up now to a brief straight. Then from the right hand side, you cut back out to the outside again. So you go back to the left hand side again. I want to go ahead and actually show you your track map. Let's just bring that up real quick. Yeah, this is excellent. So we discuss 1, 2, 3, boom. I'm gonna save this image, and I'm gonna open it up. There we go. That's excellent. Let's view it. Which way? Yeah, let's view it this way. It might be a bit difficult to tell. Let me try my best. So the section we're reviewing is this. It's a sharp straight. Then you have a right hand turn. Then you have a hairpin, right? So based on the track diagram, this is quite a sharp right-hander. So
Yeah.
you have to enter it. So you have to identify an entry point, an apex point, and an exit point. And the best way to do that is take this corner in isolation. So we said where my black line is. You're able to see, my drawing on the track diagram?
Yeah.
Cool. So for this corner, the entry is over here, the apex is over here, and our exit is over here. Yeah, 3 simple notes. Now all you got to do is join the dots up. So from the outside, we cut to the inside. Now what we could do is immediately go back to the outside, like that. Or
Yeah.
you could continue slightly tighter, because remember, these are low horsepower gas rental carts. So
Right.
by going to the outside too quickly, you're sort of making the track, you're taking unnecessary meters. So the pink line, it hugs the inside for slightly longer, and then eventually you get to that point. Yeah. So
Yep.
if we go back to our footage over here. Oops, I have to remove all this now. We said the entry should be as wide as possible at the outside.
Yep.
So our 3 points. The first point is the entry, which is right up to the black on black tires. Then you'd cut to the inside relatively early. You see where my cursor is? Stay at the inside as the corner turns to the right, to the right, to the right, and then now start heading out wide. And again, for the hairpin turn, it's just small things you got to add. Be ever so slightly wider up to the black tires. What I like with your driving is you got the basics in terms of the line. Like, you got an understanding of it. So it's just small things now that you've got to add. Get a wider entry. Why do we have to have a wider entry? To take this hairpin turn. This is another hairpin turn, which technically it's a double hairpin section. If we go back to our track diagram, we're now at this location. Let me put it in black so you can see clear. So you've got a typical double hairpin style corner. The thing with double hairpin is it's quite tricky. It's quite tricky to take. I'm going to show you a couple of ways on our track diagram first of all. So let's highlight an entry point, which is going to be in black. For a hairpin, we said take a late apex. Now, what happens is, in a corner, you have 3 points. So the first point over here, that's a early apex. The second point, which is over here, is the middle apex, and then right at the end, that's the late apex. What happens is, I'll draw it in pink. When you take an early apex, at the exit of the corner, look, we get thrown off, right? Technically speaking.
Yep.
If you take a middle apex, you turn in slightly later than an early apex, you sort of end up at this point on the exit. What happens is, for a double hairpin, that messes up our entry for the second hairpin. So that's why taking a late apex, it's all about continuing in a straight line, sharp late turning, skip the early apex, skip the middle apex, and then hit a late apex. And you can see automatically on exit, we're now on the right hand side of the track, and the entry for the second hairpin, we're in the correct position, right? I just want you to sort of understand that before we go back to your footage. So late apex for the first hairpin, and now what can you do? Target a late apex for the second hairpin from the outside edge. Skip the early apex, skip the middle apex, hit a late apex, boom, and head back out wide. So you see what we've
Yep.
sort of done there?
Yep.
This corner, it looks quite challenging. What are you sort of struggling with for this turn?
I think it's majorly the turning late, because I
Yeah,
understand I need to take a late apex.
yeah.
Theoretically, I understand that, but sometimes in sharp turns, I tend to spin out
Mm-hmm.
because of carrying too much speed. So I think in order to target a late apex, at least for me, I need to be on brakes a little bit better.
Yeah.
Then so it's not as much of a steering problem for me as much it is a braking and slowing down problem, I think.
Okay. When it comes to braking and slowing down, it's about
Mhm.
identifying uh, a consistent braking point. So
Mhm.
again, for this corner, if we go back, are you braking more on feeling again?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look on the footage now. Let's see. One more time. Let's see where you're braking. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Nice. So you're braking fairly early. Let's just see who's. Just give us 1 second. Got one driver joining. We've got Surath. Surath, what's up?
Hey, hi Omar.
How's it going?
Good, good. Yeah.
We're just finishing with Manav, and then we'll hand over to you. All right?
No, like I don't have any footage. I'm just here to learn from
Excellent,
like whatever footage. Yeah,
excellent, excellent.
already have.
We'll just continue with Manav's footage then.
So,
Take a quick moment on the live if we got some people requesting to join. Just one moment, Manav, yeah, as I just attend to this.
Yeah. Sure. Yes.
I think we're in great analysis that I lost track of of who was joining and things like that. So let me just take one moment. Boom. Alright, so to answer YSFSD's comment, are we allowed to join the meet? Absolutely. So if you want to join this discussion and you've got footage of your own that you'd like me to review, give you some improvements, join the academy, follow the instructions on how to submit your footage, and you can view the meet link there as well. I'm just gonna put that in the live chat. Let's just check who else has joined as well. If you want to join. All right, guys. Right, we got it there. We got a link in. I hope that the link is working. Yeah, it's working fine. Excellent. So YSFDS, you can join using the link. And let's continue. Let's continue, guys. All right. So we were talking about breaking points for your hairpin turn. When it comes to a double hairpin corner, I'm going to go back to my track diagram over here. Ideally, you only want to brake for the first hairpin turn. And for the first hairpin turn, you'd brake slightly more just to slow the car down. What would happen is, you get your braking done over here where the pink is. And then, I'm going to draw in yellow now. The rest of, no, blue. The rest of the corners should be taken flat out, believe it or not. Why is it taken flat out? Well, what you need to understand is when you brake for this first hairpin turn, you're reducing your speed significantly, right? Because it's you're reducing it so you can take a tight corner like this. What will happen is your speed that you build up from point A to point B isn't going to be that much. I mean, it's a short stretch, first of all. So maximum you'll gain 10, 15 kilometers. And what happens is, at that sort of speed, it is enough to take the second hairpin turn flat out. Remember, you're not approaching it at full speed like you did for the first hairpin. So prioritize braking. I like how you were braking relatively early in the footage. We're going to just review that one more time. Coming on from the long straight. Hitting the brakes just before the lights end on the left hand side. We did say try to be a bit wider. What happens is, here we want to hit a late apex. So you see how, and of course this is a lap in isolation, a one-off lap. We missed the apex over here. Try to be hitting the end part where the black tires are. And then keep it to the right hand side. So you open up the angle for the second hairpin. And again, I believe if you can enter it wider, all the way from the right, you'll have a smoother entry for the second hairpin. And again here, you took a middle apex. You actually took a mid to late apex over here. This is where you want to sort of hit it. The limit is of course until the where the sand is on the inside, or where the black tires are. You don't want to run over that. That can, lose you grip, damage your tires. Final part of the lap is very straightforward. It's probably the fastest part of the track, right? This.
Yes. Yeah.
Where you probably do the most overtakes and things. It's two typical left-hand turns. So that was the final one, and this was the second to last one. So the second to last left, again, one more time. Try to be wider on entry. The wider you can be on entry, the easier it is to take this corner without lifting or without braking. I think in this case this was flat, right? You were taking it flat.
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most part.
Taking a little bit.
To eliminate the braking, I think if you have a wide entry, you'll be able to take that flat. Then you want to maintain that momentum all the way to the next corner. Let's say there's a cart in front of you. If you can prioritize. Sorry.
I had a doubt about the wide entry that you mentioned.
Yes.
So that wide entry we have to come by hitting the apex. Is it like in a slant way?
So
the previous apex.
This corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for this corner, let's just rewind a bit more.
We have to break the wide entry here, right?
I would.
So how do we enter this like from the previous apex?
What you would do is, you see how on this video we're in the middle of the track, right?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is now direct the cart towards the black tires at the outside. You should be looking towards something at the right hand side of the track. Maybe in the daytime you can see, I don't know, a sign or maybe a tree or something, but easily a good reference is the black tires. That's always there. If you look towards the black tires on the right hand side, the outside, you'll naturally drive towards that. And then once you get closer to the corner at the inside, then you look towards the left hand side again. So it's crazy. Next time you're on track, look where you drive.
So my question was from the previous, like you see, we have to take a wide entry, right, where those lights are. So
Okay.
do we come slanting towards the left to there, or do we like approach it straight here? Because we have to hit
From
the
here,
previous
right?
impact. No, even before,
Even before this, gotcha. You mean at these hairpins, the right and then the left?
No, like just after finishing. So here we should be at the absolute left and then go slant there and then take it, is it?
Gotcha. So as we discussed, this is I think we discussed this just before you joined, but this is the second hairpin, and what you need to do is be as wide as possible for the second hairpin. We should not be entering it from the left hand side. Yeah, don't enter it from the left. We need to be focusing on the right side. Why do you look on the right side? Well, you need to make this corner as wide as possible on the entry. See, the tighter you make a corner, the more you have to turn, and the more you'll probably have to brake as well. The wider you can go, the less you turn your steering wheel, the easier it is to take the corner, and you might even have to just lift off the gas, or in the best case, you could go flat out, but you experiment those things. Focus on being as wide as possible on corner entry. Let's just skip ahead now to final two corners. We got Alexandra Becker. How can I join your group? Just click the link above. You can sign up for free, and we'll admit you. And you can join the live session. Second to last corner, fast left. We already discussed that. Now the final corner, this is slightly more tighter. This definitely has braking, right? So Manav, you're braking for this turn.
Yes.
Boom. Just there. We got a nice shot of you braking this lap. And what I notice is you're braking just before this double tire is. You see how the tire is stacked 2 times on the right side? It goes higher. You're braking, boom, just about there. All I can say is 2 things. Number 1 is your entry. You're probably going to get tired of me saying this today, but it's so simple. It's such a small improvement. Use all of the track. Try to be as wide as possible. Even if it's a small bit, that again will make your corner entry much wider. Continue braking where you are. I really like that. You're braking nice and early. But what you need to then do is rotate the kart more so you can take more curb over here. How is the curb over here? Is it quite high? I mean, I can't really tell on the video. It is quite high.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to not get
You're
on
avoiding it.
because you might be able to see that the tire gets a little bit higher even at the corner of it.
Yeah. You can see, yeah, you're right. That black tire is a lot higher. Okay, you're clipping the inside there, and that's a quick lap. How many seconds was it? 50. I'm just checking.
No,
again.
not that bad.
No, okay. I'm confusing you with somebody else's lap. Did you put a lap time in? I don't think you. Oh, you did. Yeah.
This one.
Amazing. So
this is not.
Yeah.
This footage is different.
Sorry.
The other picture is for this. Yeah. Yeah, this one.
Excellent. So 43.5. Is that your best timing?
On on this track, yes. On another one with a similar distance but a wider track, it's around 39, 38, 39, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's excellent. It looks like the guys, Anuj, Hunt, these guys are in the 39s.
Yeah,
That
even the fourth guy, the guy, this Sneak,
Yeah,
he's
Sneak.
the best. He's the best. If you see on the right hand side, his lap time is the best of the year.
Yes, yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. So you had some good guys in this session. Just to conclude,
Yeah.
really, I think you need to continue practicing. How often are you sort of going to this track?
I'm planning to be more regular there. They are going to be conducting a 2 day driver training session kind of a thing next weekend.
Yeah,
So I'm planning to join that. And then I'm planning, because this one is very close to my home. It's like 5 kilometers from here.
yeah,
The other one that was there before, the wider one I told you, that track is almost 35 kilometers from my home. So this is a recent one and it just opened. So I think I'll be going to this more often. And
yeah,
I think your advice of looking at the tires to use the full track
yeah,
is probably the main highlight for me, because in almost all the cases I'm trying to use as much of the track as possible.
yeah,
But I think the mistake I'm making is I'm just looking at the I'm looking to take the turn. So I'm looking more at the left when I should be looking to go wide
yeah,
and looking towards the right. So maybe that is one mistake I'm making. And another one I caught from one of your videos that I watched after doing this lap,
yeah,
this track, was that you mentioned that you should lean on the outside. I'm mostly leaning towards the inside.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
was just going
same.
to say that. You have anything to add, Surif?
Yeah, yeah. Like I do the exact same thing. Actually, I read the same thing, and that's what like prompted me to join this. Like which I thought was a great insight.
Yep.
Honestly, I could tell actually from the video. Like, you can look
Yeah.
towards maybe even through turn one. You'll see the camera. It's as if you're
Right.
looking to the inside. And what happens is I've explained extensively on the video. You're countering the natural force when you drive. Um, don't overcomplicate it. Just
Hmm.
the next time you go karting, don't lean at all, but feel
Hmm.
when you turn the different corners where the force pushes you, and it's always going to
Hmm.
push you away from the corner. That's the
Yes.
that's the natural force. To
Hmm.
add to that, then you can start putting more pressure and more transferring your body weight to the outside. That should be done
Hmm.
from your shoulders sort of only. Try and keep your neck stable. But
Hmm.
really, it's almost a hack to rotate the cart and things. You'll see top drivers, especially like in wet weather conditions, they really lean
Hmm.
and use their bodies because you're
Yeah.
technically the heaviest object which is in the cart, and you can manipulate whichever direction it goes in. So I'm really happy that you've shared this footage, and you're at a good level. That's what I see. The basics are all there. For you to now just go to the next level, as you've identified and we've discussed, few simple
Yep.
things. Try and use all of the track. And
Hmm.
the great reference for that is how close am I to the black tires? As we saw in
Right.
the video, sometimes you're leaving a bit of a gap. So next time you go mentally, I need to be right up to this black tire on the outside, and then establish different apex points. So different corners will have different apexes. Middle apex for some, hairpin turns. We said try to stick to late apexes.
Hmm.
And what you'll find is for the high speed corners, that's
Hmm.
where you can try to use your body weight to lean. Let's say it's a fast left hand corner like we saw towards the end of the track.
Right.
The fast left over here. So you're going to the left, you're turning left, 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 left. And especially like here, I'd be leaning away from the corner. Try to feather the throttle, if not keep it full.
We are not able to see the screen
Sorry,
in
sorry, sorry.
case.
Yeah, okay. You got the fast left. Try and have a wider entry up to the black tires. Lean your body to the outside this time. And what that's doing is taking the load off the inside rear tire, putting grip on the outside, and the more grip you have, the faster you can take a corner. You know, it's
Right.
it's as simple as
I think
that.
that is also the reason I have been missing a few late apexes, because
Yeah.
I have been leaning towards the inside,
Yeah.
and so I have to slow down more than needed, because when I was going faster, you will see in
Yeah.
some previous laps, I was spinning out a little bit and drifting off and sliding off, because I was mostly leaning towards the inside at a instead of leaning outside and looking for the late apex. So I think, yeah, I think I'll definitely take that advice and also use the full track.
Absolutely. I reckon 42 or 41 is possible. Very, very much
Yeah,
possible. Let me know how it goes, and hope to see you in a future session. You know, continue recording the footage. As we
yeah.
mentioned, we're running these sessions every week on Sunday at
Mm-hmm.
6 p.m. GMT. So whenever you have some footage, you know, feel free to share it when we make the announcement on the group, and we can go through it just like we did today.
Sure. Can I review this session on YouTube or somewhere? Where will
Absolutely.
we
There's going to be the replay on YouTube, and I'll also share a direct link to that after this. So I know we covered a lot, but we've basically spent an hour on this. So I don't expect you to memorize it all now. You review it step by step, you know, minute by minute, and implement it, you know, before you go next to the track.
Sure. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, Manav. It's been a pleasure, Surath, as well. Surath, you don't have any footage you wanted to go through?
No, never had the equipment. I think I'll be going into that soon.
No